and welcome to Newsmakers. I'm your host, Nancy Lewis. Today we're going to be talking about school finance and some other issues with Kansas State Representative Mike Kiegerl. We're here today in the Truman Library, which you see behind us. This is the Oval Office, and I hope that you'll come to visit. So last year, the legislature in Kansas passed a funding bill on the heels of a Supreme Court decision saying that funding wasn't equitable in Kansas schools. So what do you hope will come from that?
Well, I hope we are going to see the funds that we provided spent wisely. And I'm not sure that's always the case. We still have a situation where 58% of every dollar that we spend goes into the classroom and the teachers, and I'd like to see that increased and less money spent on administration and overhead. Also, the Supreme Court decision requires the Rose standards. I don't know if you're familiar with those, which means we're not talking only about money outcomes, but actual outcomes in terms of what kids are learning. And I hope that we improve, because I don't think we get a lot of results for our money.
You know, they say that, you know, Kansas schools and Kansas education in general are comparatively doing better than other states, and that's part of, you know, an economic driving factor that brings businesses into Kansas. But you say that it's not good enough.
No, it's not good enough. It's certainly good. The Johnson County schools are very good. Compared to what? Compared to Detroit or Washington or even Kansas City, Missouri, I think we're in good shape. But we're spending almost $13,000 per student in school. If you enroll your kid, that's what the school gets from all funds, federal, state, and local. But I'm looking at our competition in the international scene. There's a study done by the United Nations every few years called PISA. You can look it up in the computer for those of you who are watching. And we're doing very poorly. We're not just below average, we're failing. We're like, out of 34 nations, we're 28 in science, 21 in math. That's not good enough. And these people are our competition globally, and we've got to do better. We are not challenging our kids. American children are no dumber than European children. But we spend 4 times as much money per student as the number 1, 2 nations in the world, Finland and South Korea. That is unacceptable.
And so obviously those are students who are going to be competing with those other students, because we're in a global marketplace now.
That's absolutely correct. That is the challenge we face. And we are number 1 in some things: pom-pom girls, marching bands, and most of all, football. You see, these are all meritorious programs. I have no problem with them. But we need to challenge our children and make sure that the laboratory and the library are more visited than the football field. I'm talking about something that will not happen, but I'm hoping that once people realize that we are in a global competition, that we do better.
I wish we had more time to talk about it. It always goes too quickly. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being here. We hope to see you next time on Newsmakers.